Hello and welcome to Bloomfield in Focus, where we get to talk with local partners about what's going on in Bloomfield Township. I'm here with Corey Almas, who is our Director of Engineering and Environmental Service, and Karyn Stickel, who is an engineer with Hubbel, Roth, and Clark. We want to welcome both of you. But I think I'll start with Corey. And Corey, will you just tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe what you do here and when you're not here, what you do?
Yeah, Mike, thanks for having me. Happy to be here. I've been with the township now for almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years in March, and it's been great. We've got a fabulous team in engineering and environmental services, and with our asset management coordinator, Paul Pallas. We've got 2 staff engineers, Adam Skotsky and Adam Poulter, and we've got 2 project coordinators, Mark Hendricks and Alex Kozlowski. We're currently looking for a deputy director of engineering. We've got a vacant position there, and we're looking for a well-rounded engineer to complement our already wonderful team.
Nice. And Karyn, welcome. And you've been with HRC, or Hubbel, Roth, and Clark, since 2001?
Correct. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here today.
Yeah.
Like you said, I have been at HRC since 2001. I went to University of Michigan, got my civil engineering degree, started with HRC right out of school. So
Wow.
it's been here my whole career, and I've actually been working with Bloomfield Township since about the beginning. So almost 25 years working in the township, and really enjoyed the projects I've gotten to work on here and developing relationships with the different people that have come through the township since I've been here.
So Corey, tell us a little bit about some of the projects that we're working on now around the township.
Yeah, so currently we're working on one of our biggest projects. It's a special assessment for water main in South Bloomfield Highlands. We're putting in roughly 14,400 feet of new water main to replace their existing well water distribution system that's exceeded its life expectancy. That's quite a big project for the township, and certainly for those residents of South Bloomfield Highlands.
And how long does that take from beginning of the start when your shovel hits the ground until we're all set and they can turn the faucet on?
Yeah, so the shovels were in the ground just before the holidays, and we're expecting that project to go through into the summer, maybe late summer, early fall, before residents will be able to, all of the residents. This project is going to be done in phases, so some streets will be able to turn their water, have access to water sooner than later, but we're expecting the entire project to be done, substantial completion, which means all the water is in the ground and water mains in the ground, and residents will have access to connect to
Because that was about
system.
209 homes, right, that
Yep.
were on feeding off those wells.
Yep,
And there was what,
correct.
4 wells?
There's two
wells,
wells,
okay.
yeah, 2 wells, and again, that system is it's been around for about 80 years.
Okay.
And again, it's to invest into that well system it might be counterproductive for them, but connecting to the township's water supply is certainly the better option for them.
And do we have other neighborhoods that are that size or similar that are on wells?
There is one other subdivision that is currently on a community well system.
Okay.
I can't recall exactly which one that is, Mike, but
Okay.
there's one that we know of. It's not, I don't believe, the same size or condition that South Bloomfield Highland is currently in, but it's our understanding that their water supply is functioning properly.
Okay, thank you for that. And Karyn, can you tell us some of the projects you're currently working on in the township?
So HRC's been heavily involved with the South Bloomfield Highlands project as
sure.
well, and one of the other big programs we're working on is the Safety Path program.
Yes.
The township has a Safety Path master plan that went into effect in the late 1990s. There was an update to it in 2008, again in 2018.
Right.
All of this work is paid for through a millage, which is voted on by the township residents. And this program, we construct new safety path, we repair the existing safety path, we do ADA upgrades at all the intersections where they need to be done. Those requirements have changed over time, so we want to make sure we're up to current standards at all the intersections. And we do repairs to any of the retaining walls that are associated with that project.
Lots of ongoing maintenance there.
Lots of ongoing maintenance, so there's quite a bit going on with the Safety Path program. And I'll let Corey talk about 2024 and the banner year we had as far as construction was concerned.
You did a lot. I was driving
did a
around.
lot.
You
We
were
did a
busy.
lot.
Yeah, because on my notes here, Safety Path, Lasser, Franklin, Telegraph, Square Lake.
Yep, the TAP grant, yeah. So anyone who's driven Losser recently from Quarton to Maple would be the west side of the road.
Right.
Boy, our contractor just did a wonderful job on that path. They also did Franklin, north of Square Lake Road. Again, just a tremendous job. We also did the TAP grant right in that same area of Telegraph, Square Lake Road. That was a TAP grant that was done through MDOT and their contractor, Warren Excavating. Tremendous job. That just turned out beautifully for us. And then at the north end, the very north end of Telegraph, where from Humphreys to that ties into Clinton River Trail connects that north end of Safety Path that meanders through the paper road and through the woods there. We've got some lights that are going to be activated here in the near future, but that turned out very nice as well.
That'll be a nice addition, nice feature.
We're getting a lot of positive feedback for that one.
Yeah, and I remember this past summer, it was watching the Safety Path along Lasser Road get built, and those guys were working out there.
Oh, yeah.
In hot weather. Remember hot weather?
Oh, yeah.
I think we're at 7 degrees outside, just in case you need to know.
Vaguely remember hot weather.
Right, vaguely. And then we've had discussions about the fencing that you put up along the Safety Paths, and you're really taking a hard look at that.
We are. The challenge with that, Mike, is that the split rail wood fence that we see throughout the township is very aesthetic, and it fits in nice with the community. The challenge that we're facing is that it's not all that durable, especially in locations where there's a high water table, and the wood posts have a tendency to rot rather quickly. What engineering, DPW, and HRC are looking at is options to correct that, whether it's with treated timbers in some fashion, or using a different stabilization of the posts. Instead of concrete, maybe go into an alternative. But we're doing that. What we've heard from the Board of Trustees is that they prefer the rustic look and feel of the split rail wood fence, and we've heard them loud and clear. So we're looking at modifications to that, such that the fence isn't falling over in a brisk wind. And it maintains the integrity of the fence a little bit longer than what it has been.
And then, Karyn, will HRC now start working and planning on future safety paths? Is that part of your function with our contract with HRC?
That is part of our function. So we're actually currently finishing up design for the path that we plan to construct in 2025. That's going to be along Maple Road, on the north side of Maple Road, between Surrey Court, which is just west of Telegraph, to Franklin Road.
Oh, wow.
So we're working on getting that design done to get in for permits. Bid this spring and hopefully construct that this summer. So that'll be the next phase. So,
and is that going to also incorporate that New Jersey turn we have at Maple and Telegraph as well?
We're not planning on constructing that this year. That's going to be in a future year. But we did recently update the master plan to include that piece as well as a piece along Corton Road between Cranbrook and Chesterfield. And on that piece, we're actually working with the city of Birmingham. They want to construct that path all the way along the south side of Corton Road to Woodward Avenue.
And
so we can connect the two.
And those are busy traffic areas.
They're busy traffic areas. That's going to be a difficult construction. There's going to be lane closures likely and some impacts along there, but we haven't started that design yet. We met with Birmingham recently, and they're looking into it from their end.
So what we do, Mike, is that HRC's Karyn and her team, along with our staff, what we try to do is plan out safety path for the next 3, 4, 5 years and beyond, and try to, based on the size, scope of the work that's involved with it. And now what we're experiencing are some of the more challenging locations of safety path throughout the township. That requires a little bit more engineering involvement or planning involvement. Some of these are a little bit more costly, and on those costly locations, we have to plan it from a budgetary standpoint. So planning and looking forward is a lot what Karyn and I collaborate with.
When we started doing safety paths, has our cost considerably gone up now from when we started? Have you seen? Because road paving is getting very expensive, so I'm assuming the safety paths are starting to.
We're seeing the cost per foot go up,
Yeah.
both from the fact that costs on everything are going up, and also to Corey's point, we've built most of the easy routes, and now we're
Getting
running
into the
into more
thick ones.
challenging
Right.
areas where we have potential boardwalks or retaining walls or.
But I love these
Okay.
challenges.
Do you?
I really enjoy the challenging projects. I do.
Well, good for you. That's great to have you both with us then. So we have a mature community, aging community. Our infrastructure is getting older. And what are the challenges that we have to look to going, let's say, in the next 5 to 10 years that we're going to need to be doing some major upgrades?
Yeah, we take and we work directly with our DPW, and we take there's a lot of factors that go into our infrastructure. Certainly we do, DPW does investigations with our sanitary sewer, clean and televise, and they keep us up to speed with what their findings are. We have SAW grant history and knowledge of our sanitary sewer system. With our water main, based on age and size and type of material for the water main pipe itself, we identify what's next on the priority. And the same thing along with safety path as you plan accordingly with our asset management plans to what's going to be coming in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years out. And that can be modified. For example, Verner Estates. That's a road SAD that's likely going to move forward. Because the residents are being assessed the cost of that road improvement, what we didn't want to do is have to come in after the fact and rebuild water main throughout that community and tear up their brand new roads.
Right.
We spoke with DPW. That's a neighborhood subdivision of existing water main that's had some issues there with main breaks. So we felt that project should have been moved up on the priority level.
So you're going in there now, cutting the roads and replacing those water mains?
Correct. Yeah. So that's what we're planning for 2025 construction.
Yeah, imagine now with this cold weather, I think it's a balmy 10 degrees out. And we're probably are we seeing some problems with water mains in the last day or so?
I think they've had I think there was 3 that was reported to me by the DPW over the weekend.
Yeah, that's not
extreme
bad.
temperatures. That's not too bad.
No,
That's
with these temperatures.
But when the temperatures
Right.
rise, when the ground moves because of the temperature fluctuations, that's where we're going to see a little bit more breaks.
And then we have water sewer, and stormwater sewer, and in some areas, but not all areas.
Not
right?
all areas. I mean, most of the stormwater assets are the responsibility of the road commission for Oakland County.
Yeah, but on our lines, sometimes we don't replace them. We line them, right? We use a liner to come in.
That's an option for us.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what determines to replace them or use the liner? What is the basis for that?
So generally, we line the sanitary sewer lines. Those are in general deeper. They're gravity lines, so they're a little bit easier to line because they're not under pressure. What we do is we televise all of the lines. Either the DPW does that, or we work with a contractor that can put a camera in the line. And if the pipe is still generally in decent structural condition and is still generally round, we can put a liner in it, and it'll extend the life of the pipe by 50 plus years.
Oh.
And it will save a lot of impacts on the surface from having to open cut and replace it. Generally, we open cut it if there's a capacity issue with the pipe, so we need a bigger pipe in the ground, or if there's a collapse or a repair that can't be lined through because it's no longer round, or there's pieces of pipe coming into it that we just can't line through.
And are
So
those pipes, are those metal pipes, or are they PVC, or are they clay?
most of the sanitary sewer pipe in the township is either clay or concrete. The newer pipe that we're putting in now is primarily truss or plastic pipe. So we have all sorts of different materials, but a lot of it's clay or concrete pipe.
And then what's the material you use to line the pipes with?
It is a resin in a felt
Right.
tube, and they put it in, they invert it in, they pull it back through, and then they cure it using heat, either steam or hot water,
Okay.
in order to set that
And then
into place.
It sticks itself
And
to
it
the
sticks
pipe
it
and
in,
creates
and it creates
a barrier.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, and it's a structural, and then they can go through, and where all the leads are connected to the pipe, they can cut those leads out to get the flow to come back through. So
Yeah, and that will buy us another 50 years of these pipes.
at least, I mean, lining probably isn't 50 years old yet, so none of them have reached that, but most manufacturers will say it'll be 50 years.
Are there any kind of special projects that you're working on now that are very unique to a neighborhood or to our township that you can think of?
Boy,
Well, we've done
it's a
some
tough
pretty
question.
unique sewer repairs recently.
Have you?
So
Okay.
we had the township had something, it was called the SAW grant, and SAW stood for Stormwater Asset Management and Wastewater. And it was a major grant program put out by the state back in 2013. And what its intent was for communities to investigate their systems and come up with plans to fix deficiencies in their system. So you got $2 million to investigate your sanitary sewer system. So we did a lot of televising and that type of work, and we prioritized repairs. And we found 2 or 3 areas where the pipes were in pretty poor condition,
Okay.
where we had to do pretty major repairs. One was along Long Lake Road. That finished up a year and a half, 2 years ago. So that one's primarily complete. But in 2024, we did 2 pretty major ones. One was at Forest Lake Country Club, down by where the tennis courts are, right along the lake. It was a sensitive area.
I saw
and
that
it
one
was
in process this past summer, right?
yeah, and it was.
Yeah.
We had to put the sewer. We had to relocate the sewer and put it on piers to support it because it's on very poor soils down there. And then we did something similar along Club Drive. We had Club
I
Drive.
remember that
Club
one.
Drive
That was-
closed
yeah.
down, so it wasn't very convenient for a lot of the residents. But construction rarely is. So
And again, two major 2024 projects that were completed. Right?
Now, when you have to take up a project like that, do you try and schedule them during the spring and summer months? Are those projects you can do year-round?
they can generally be done year round, except for days like this where it's
Yeah.
8 degrees
You gotta
outside.
send them home. It's too cold.
And Forest Lake, we actually scheduled for last winter because we wanted to get that done before the country club was open. Well, they're open all year round, but had most of their activity going on. So we worked very closely with them to make sure we didn't interrupt any of the events that they
Yeah,
had going on.
they were concerned about access to Forest Lake, and
Right.
and it was right in that area of the boat launch. So,
Yeah.
but it went well. Our contractor there was D'Angelo Brothers, who's our township's emergency contractor, did a flawless job on that
That's
project.
nice.
So, very happy with the results there.
Yeah, good. So, Corey, I know we're looking for a new deputy director, and what type of individual would be best fit for that type of role?
Well, again, Mike, we're looking for a well-rounded engineer, someone with experience in whether it's infrastructure, construction, design, and oversight. Also with our commercial, residential site plan approval process, and someone who will complement our, again, just with a great attitude, work ethic that's going to complement the great quality people that we have on staff.
Yeah, I met your staff, and they're very professional, I have to say.
They're hungry. They are just eager to do their jobs and do it well.
Yeah.
And we've got, all told, our department, save Mark Hendricks, who's been here, I think, 8 or 9 years. The rest of our staff is less than 2. I'm the most senior employee already in less than 2 years.
So how many people do we employ in engineering?
Engineering,
environmental services?
we're a department of 7
Yeah.
generally,
Okay.
with 1 vacancy right now.
And then we contract out with HRC for additional services.
Correct.
And how many contractors from HRC do we usually keep on staff to work with or just work with on a regular basis?
How many contractors?
Well,
or-
with HRC, how many engineers?
How many
are-
engineers?
yeah, do you
Well,
work
our
with?
team, in addition to Karyn, I mean, they have a lot of people
Right.
over there that assist the township. I mean, you talk about whether it's the Bill West with the ADA or
Yeah,
the
retaining compliance.
retaining wall program.
We have different specialties at
Right,
and that's
HRC,
what
so
you bring to
depending
us.
on the project,
Yeah.
you know, if it's a water main project, we have one group or individual. If it's safety path, we have other people working on it, kind of based on where their specialty lies.
Chris Ross is a major component of the HRC team
Right.
and works with us directly. And same, I got to mention Justin Van Acker as well with HRC. And then amongst the other observers throughout the township and our projects, there's several. There's a lot of people.
And
involved in
we
it.
use primarily because you have specialties that we don't have that we need to have for like ADA compliance rules.
Well,
We do a lot of the design work that
Do
the
you?
township
Okay.
does, and
I don't know. I wouldn't say that we don't have the capacity or the knowledge to do it, Mike. There's just so much that's going on
Right.
that we have to utilize HRC
Right.
with the litany of projects that we're doing, and I think we're handling it quite well.
Yeah,
you'd
you're
have more
busy.
than one vacancy if you were doing everything in-house, I think.
Amen.
Oh, I see it. I watch all the construction going on and the safety path and the repairs that we're doing, and it's constant out there. Now, roads we don't get too much into. Do you
Well,
too much with the roads?
SAD roads, our department is minimally involved with if there are issues with or questions or concerns that need to be addressed with the road commission, who oversees the road improvement projects, so the SAD projects. And I'll give you an example. When a resident or if a resident has a question or concern and they need that liaison that speaks for them on behalf of the township, I'm that person. From the SAD, the assessment portion, and that's run through Darren Kratz and Jen Worthman. But as it comes to the construction piece, I'm always happy to help if someone has a concern there. And otherwise, we've got a great and a rapport with the road commission.
Yeah.
On those projects and working well.
And you work hand in hand with them.
Hand in hand with them. Yep.
Yeah, we're lucky that we have a DPW department and we have our own engineering department. Many townships don't have what we have.
I would have to agree with that. That's
Right.
in engineering and DPW works very closely together, whether it's their existing infrastructure or planned projects. South Bloomfield Highlands, for example, and locating the existing utilities are out there. I got to give a lot of credit to Steve Sirota and Craig Lewis and their departments that went out there and spent a lot of time, whether it's sanitary sewer, locating drainage structure, or the existing water services stop boxes. They spent a lot of time out there.
That's a lot of work.
It was a lot of work.
'Cause you have to be in the field, right? Really.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And they spent, I want to say, close to 2 weeks or more, maybe 2.5 weeks, all told, out on that site.
Yeah, because those stop boxes, those things are buried
And a lot of times there's no knowledge or
where they are.
where they
Yeah,
are.
with South Bloomfield Highlands, because it was a private system for so long, there were not great records of where anything was.
No.
For this township system,
Yep.
we have a little better idea of where
No,
we
you've
can
located
locate
all
things.
of it.
I mean, some of them are buried, and some
Yeah.
of them are a little more challenging to locate, but there's
Yeah.
records.
Right.
Noah Mahalski, who's the DPW director, and his team, Adam Roos and Paul Horan. Boy, we've got a great working relationship. And
Well, you're partners. You're
we're
sitting right
partners,
next to
yeah,
each other.
absolutely, yeah, and we work well together. So
Yeah.
it's good to have that that camaraderie and balance. Although they did get me on a rather I don't know, sneaky trick and put my face on a T-shirt, and wasn't too happy about that.
What was that all about? You want to give us a little?
It was about hazing. That's what it was about.
Oh, when you
that
first started here,
relatively,
or-
no, it was last year.
Oh,
so.
recently?
It was recently.
Was it a
yeah.
payback of some sort?
No. They started it, and
Yeah.
there will be
Little bit-
retribution. It was a funny prank. They got me pretty good.
It's an excellent T-shirt.
Yeah,
Is it?
yeah.
I have to
It's
see it. I
actually
haven't
it's
seen it.
actually up on a mannequin in a bar in Petoskey,
Oh, which one?
in Mitchell's bar.
Oh, I like Mitchell's.
Yeah, they
Mitchell
got-
Street Tavern.
Yeah, great food up there, and the
That's
service
nice.
was
So
spectacular.
something happened there that we may find out.
Well, it
about.
was a fishing trip that led to there, and just team building trip, and
That's great.
And the waitress asked for one of the T-shirts, and they obliged and gave her a T-shirt. Now it's on a mannequin in Mitchell's in Petoskey.
Well, that's great. That's great. Well, I want to thank you both for being on the show today. This is my first show, and I've been watching and learning what you're doing, and I'm very thankful that you're leading our engineering and environmental services division, and Noah too. And DPW, you guys are a great team.
Yeah, and we got to include HRC in that mix,
right.
and I consider that all of us one team, and not just with our PBO. We've got great relationships over there, and same thing again with assessing. I hope I'm not leaving anybody out or any of the departments out, but we do the township in general, Mike. And in my first 2 years, it's been just a wonderful experience here.
Isn't that great? That's great.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Well, thank you for having us today.
No,
and
thank you for-
Congratulations
coming in.
on your first show.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was nice, and it was a cold day we will remember, right?
It's a cold day we will
Yeah,
remember.
but back, we'll look forward to seeing the new safety paths be developed and looking for the fencing to go up and keep maintaining those safety paths because, boy, they take a beating, don't they?
And and you know what, Mike? It's nice to see them get used.
Yeah, it is.
When
Right.
people are out there, and that's and it gives us joy when we see that when they're out
It's a great amenity in the township.
It really is. Yes.
Yeah, it is a nice amenity. Well, thank you both.
Thank you.
Maybe we'll have you back again one day soon.
All right.
All right.
All right, thank
All right.
you.
All right. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks, Mike.
All right. Thank you all.